Well. It's going to be a difficult one to share, but 10 years ago I've had 150,000 subscribers on YouTube, over 15 million views across all of the videos. And even though I have not made a lot of the videos, I'm very proud of every single one that I've done. And ever since that happened, or rather 3 years after I started that channel, I've stopped posting onto it. Just because I thought that, hey, I'm better than this. It was the gaming content. I'm like games, it's not that important part of life that I need to allocate all of my time to them, dedicate my life to making video games related content. I can do much better than that. I can make more money than that. That's what I was thinking. So I better go do something else. The funniest part is that I cannot really say if that was a mistake, quitting or not. Because even though it would have been easier to continue doing them as far as the subscriber count growth is concerned, at the same time, perhaps if I hadn't quit, maybe I wouldn't be at this stage right now here with you, starting from zero, 10 years later, having learned everything that I've learned, both during my 3 years on YouTube back then, and then several years trying to figure things out, which led me to creating this YouTube channel. Kind of sounds like I want to be a little bit of both. Take the best parts of here, take the best parts of here. Maybe that's my Gemini horoscope sign talking, that I'm like, need to have two alter egos, or like I need to combine two parts of life. I can't really say from which country I'm from, because I've lived in so many different ones of them that I basically, this word has become cliche, but it used to be not cosmopolitan. So I don't have a specific country that I belong to. Hey, I'm from here. I was born in Finland, but I don't consider myself fully Finnish. That's the problem. And with YouTube channels, it's this strange feeling, because when I go to YouTube nowadays, in my humble opinion, and I want to stress that it's a humble opinion and it's more this anger at myself speaking, I honestly and sincerely believe that 99% of content is garbage. The people behind that content, how would I say, they're doing a good job. They did what I couldn't do. They stuck to it long enough to reap the rewards. But at the same time, they are kind of doing something that I was afraid I would become, and that was the reason I quit in the first place, which is producing mediocre content. Content just for clicks. Content that just looks good. Content that does not change anything. Just words, or just entertainment, or just the visuals. They don't ever fully combine everything together. My favorite director since 2010 has been Christopher Nolan. I don't like talking about that anymore because now it's a cliche. Now liking Christopher Nolan is like watching Marvel movies. But the thing is that he inspired a lot of things he was an inspiration for me in many things that I was doing. And what he taught me is that it's important to focus on quality, because then you're going to be remembered. than focusing on quantity. For example, you could take Ridley Scott as a director. He was focusing on quantity, and people don't really remember him that much. He made some good movies, but he's not as memorable as Christopher Nolan, and as they say, he didn't age well. And right now, seeing the content, I feel very angry at myself, but at the same time, if I actually think about it, I should be grateful that I quit, because I wouldn't be producing the content that I know is not something that I want to do. Because I don't want to be just, another pile of garbage in a huge waste dump. In order to produce something of value, it has to combine multiple elements at once. It has to have an idea. It has to tell a story, a transformation story. It has to look good. It has to have great sound, like the background music, the quality of sound. And it has to help people and at the same time make them appreciative of you. Not just like another click through, right? All right, I'm just gonna watch another video and then another one, but something that people stop and they're like, that's something that I need more of in my life. And that's something that I wanted to be, and something that I was doing. Because I truly believe the videos I was creating, I started in 2014, which is 12 to 9 years ago. My videos were impeccable. They were remarkable. And I'm not saying it as somebody who is being smug and who thinks that he's better than other people. When people take like a week or two to make a video, some people take 3 days. We were taking, or let's say I was taking from 2 months in the beginning to make one video, which would be 10-15 minutes long. And then we shortened it down to 2 weeks when I had a team and we were working together. And because we had a team, I wasn't being like this millionaire YouTube guru making a lot of money, because all of the money was basically being reinvested into the whatever I was producing and into the work of the team. So we would have a fantastic team, fantastic content, and then I would be getting pleasure from producing it. But still, even though that was my focus, it kind of got watered down, because down the track, I realized that people care more about the views than they care about the quality. The quality of the visuals was still good. The quality of the idea wasn't. My way of thinking is very complicated, and the older I was getting, the more complicated it was becoming. So I've started to watering down what I wanted to do and making it simpler. And it wasn't an educational content. It was, mind you, it was in the video game setting. But still, like when I could have spent 2 months on a video and create something truly remarkable, I would be proud of forever. At some point I started choosing a simpler path of just doing something that is more or less okay, so that people would like it, but it wouldn't be like truly remembered. So I kind of turned into Marvel movies from being Christopher Nolan in the beginning. And I'm not really sure, and I'm still figuring it out. And part of the reason why I've decided that, hey, it's time to get back fully, and just so you know, I've had a few attempts, but I didn't really like them. They were more like learning experiences, and some of the people who are subscribed to me here came from other channels that I've created. I'm still figuring out like what it is that I want to truly create. Like what is going to be my masterpiece, and how can I combine satisfying the audience, which is one, Number 2, doing something that can lift people up instead of being Netflix or fast food. Number 3, doing something that would be fulfilling for me and would make me feel like I have a purpose and a meaning in life. And number 4, something that I could build around my life. Because if you don't build something around your life, it's not gonna last forever. It's just gonna be this temporary, fleeting experience. It's gonna pass and go away. It's like those tiny channels that they find the niche that gets a lot of attention. They create a lot of videos for it for several months, and then that niche dies down, and that's it. I've never been that kind of person. If I create something, I want it to last. And right now this channel is obviously in the startup phase. I'm not gonna be hiding, these videos are market research. I truly want to see what you guys are gonna be resonating with, what is going to be helping people. Because I know I don't want to create content for myself. If I needed to create content for myself, I wouldn't need to publish it, right? So I'm putting it out there so it would help you. You would like it. And I'm not gonna get in all this business philosophy explaining how everything works, the market research, the proof of concept, etc. But the thing is that I have been angry at myself, and every now and then I get angry again when I see the kind of content people put out in the world. And I don't think it's ever gonna change. I think there's always going to be low quality content, and there's always going to be impressive, unbelievable content or creation, masterpiece, just like in Hollywood. There are great directors, which are very few, and then there are people who just make whatever they want to do. They don't care about the outcome. And then it's just the different types of audience gets drawn into. Some people find a middle ground, for example, James Cameron. So he's a fantastic director, but he makes his movie incredibly simple for people to follow. So even though he's unbelievably great director, he's as good as Christopher Nolan, but the difference between them two is that Christopher Nolan creates movies for smart people, and James Cameron creates movies for the mass market, mass audience. So people would like, it would be easy for people to watch. And I'm not really sure which approach is better. Currently, my personal belief that the most important thing is to create something that is going to be easy for people to consume, to attract people. And then when you're attracting people, you have to direct them somewhere. So you're not just like, so for example, me, I'm not just like this talking head guy, right? So this has to be something that somewhere I direct people to, something that is my life's work, right? So there's a magnet to attract, and then you direct it somewhere that you're actually putting a lot of work into doing. Because I personally have this strong need to create high quality content. I would feel horrible. I would feel like I'm just, throwing a bunch of trash into a bunch of garbage into a trash can, and then just, tying it up and throwing it into the waste dump or into a garbage container outside. I don't want to be doing that. I want it to be like a needle in a haystack, that people are like searching for a haystack and then they find it, and then that's my creation. But because the way YouTube works, because the way the world works, because of how marketing and sales works, we have to abide by those rules for as long as the system operates that way. And that's where the mass production is needed, that's where the TikToks are needed, that's where the tiny threads posts are needed, that's where like live YouTube videos are needed, etc., etc. So pretty much all I wanted to say in this video is that it's definitely possible to get yourself back, and I know I'm gonna hit the 100,000 subscribers again. It's just gonna take time, but this time I wanted to do it in a way that is going to be fulfilling not just to me or not just to the audience, but for the both of us, because that's the way you create a, I don't like the word community, but that's the way you create connection, and which is basically everything we all want. Connection with other human beings in real life, online, in this kind of format. It's about connection, like nothing else matters. I hope this video was helpful. It's been Edward. I'm gonna see you in the next one. Ciao.